Hey guys, Doug here from Newswire. You know, we've made some pretty big changes to Newswire in the last little while, and we've actually got our version 2.0 up and working, and it's working great. There are, however, a few little differences in the way that we go about things, and I want to walk you through today how to publish an article on your new version of Newswire. So let's go to Newswire, and no matter where you start, the login page will take you to the newsroom, and the newsroom will give you a link to write an article. So from virtually any place on Newswire, your profile, any place else, you can find this little write an article link. So let's go there and see what we see. Alright, the writer is a little bit different than it used to be, but it's essentially the same. It has pretty much the same elements all the way through it, and we're going to just start by just copying and pasting some stuff in. So the best way to go for almost everybody is to start with a Word document. And I've got my little Word document here that I've been working on, and I've got an article roughed out in here. Now, one of the things that I want to show you that's really pretty important, when you make your Word document, I want you to go through and make sure that your paragraph settings are like this. Make sure that they're 0, 0, single space, blah, blah, blah. If you make it look correct with those things in there, then the formatting will follow pretty much through to Newswire. We're going to show you how to check it and make sure your formatting is correct. But if you're going to use Microsoft Word, make sure your settings are correct to start with. I'll give you a lot of help. So now that we have a little article written, which I've pre-written, we're going to just basically copy and paste some things. So I've got a title, and I'll copy and paste the title into the title bar here. Now you notice that we have a 70 character max, and I've used every one of them. If we were to keep going, you'll notice that you're allowed to write a little bit more. It just gives you an indication that you're over the recommended amount. It will still publish it. We won't limit you to that, but it's a very strong recommendation that you stay at 70 characters because that's what will show in Google when you publish your article. So try to stay to 70 characters, and really shorter is better in almost every way. So some of the most effective titles I've ever seen are 3 or 4 words long. Spend a lot of time making sure your title's right. The whole point of a title is not to sell your article or get them to take an action. It's to get someone to read the abstract, which is what we're going to work on next. So the abstract is also limited in characters, and for the same reason. It's limited to 256 characters, and we've done that because Google used to display 256 characters. Now that total has gone way down, so really I recommend that you keep your abstracts closer to 125 words right now, or 125 characters. But again, the purpose of the abstract is not to make an offer or to sell anything or to tell them everything about the article. The object of the abstract is to get them to read the first paragraph of the article. You're going to notice a pattern here. You know, the title is intended to get someone to read the next line, which is the abstract. The abstract is to get them to read the next line, which is the body of the paragraph, or the body of the article. And that pattern will continue. So your writing ought to be set up to make sure that someone continues to read. You want to give them the best information first and try and get them to keep going into your article. That's really what it's all about. You don't want people clicking out of your articles too fast. Alright, so you'll notice that as opposed to the old Newswire, if you were used to using that, we have a date line that's already built in. So the date line is here for you. It's unchangeable, and so you just start writing your article after the date line. So again, we're just going to copy and paste some stuff that I've already done. Alright, so since I'm doing it from Word, I'm going to go to my MCE editor here and click on the space just after the date line. And since I'm pasting from Word, I want to select this little icon here, which has the little W for Word. Let me zoom in on that and make sure you can see that a little bit better. So we want to select paste from Word. It's going to give us a whole new window, and we're just going to Control V to paste in there. We can see what we've got here, and we won't worry too much about the formatting right now because we'll have a couple chances to make sure we've got that right. Then we'll just hit the insert button right there, and it just pops into our little window. Alright, so one of the things we could do right now is we can save it as a draft and start seeing how our article looks by going to preview. Alright, we'll notice that the spacing is right, and it looks just about right. We got one little bad one in there, a little double, so we'll go in and find that and take that back out. But continually do this. Continually look at your article in preview mode to make sure that the spacing's right, the paragraphs are right, and all the things that you want to have in there are just the way they are, showing the way they are. What you see in preview is what your readers will see on the web when they open your article. So we'll go back here to the editor, and let's see, there's our double space. That's just probably my error in writing it in Word. So now that we have all that done, all those things in there, let's talk about some of the other parts of the writer that are very important and very new to you. So we'll go back here, zoom out a little bit, and the first thing you'll notice is this author information tab, and it's pre-filled with your username, your email address. All this comes from your profile, and with a little tick mark that says link it, and that's going to link to your user profile in Newswire. If we want to not put a link in there, we can unlink that. If we wanted to change the author name and use a different name, we can change it to anything we want there. But I'm going to work on my Google authorship profile here and try and give Google a good reason to think I'm a good guy and write lots of stuff. So I'll put this one in my own name, and I always recommend that you do that. There's very few exceptions as to why you would do something else. We're going to browse for a picture, and that will just take me back to my picture library, and I can navigate anywhere I want. And I've pre-done a picture here that I want to use for this, and in a different video I'll show you how to make good pictures and how to make them unique. We can put an image caption here, and we're limited to just a few characters, to 35 characters there, so make it concise. An alt tag is a way to tell Google what the picture's about. And we can hyperlink the image. I'm not going to do that this time, but we could put in any HTTP and hyperlink the image there. And we can link the caption. So if we wanted to have a link on that caption, we could do that too. Everything always starts with HTTP. So we can link the caption, the article, and everything else. So let's save that and go see what we've done and see what that looks like now. We'll save as a draft again. We'll go down and preview it. So this is what our article is looking like now. We have a picture in the article, and the picture is hyperlinked. You can see there our caption is hyperlinked, and so on and so forth. That's about all we've really done so far. So let's go back out of that for a second here, and we'll go back over into our editor again. And we'll talk about the company information tab. So the company information tab is a way to put the name, address, and phone number of your business, if you're writing about a business, in the body of an article. So let's look at what that looks like and see how that works. Obviously this article about the government shutdown is not related to a specific business, but at any rate I'm going to show you how you would do that if you're going to do that. So if I want to do that, I want to click this include company info in the article of the body, or in the article body, and I want to click this little tick mark here that says use stored company information if I've created a company profile. Now we'll have another video talking about what that is, but it's a really easy way to make something. So in this profile I just have one little thing here. It's actually a dentist. We're not going to use it, but you can see as I've clicked on those things and as I've had the chance to to put those in, that it automatically populates. So if I choose to do it this way, I've got a link for the business all filled out properly, all ready to go, and that's just pre-done for you if you take the time to pre-do those things. Now obviously we're not going to put a dentist profile on this. I just wanted to show you what was going on, and so we'll take that out. The next thing that's important is this little schema here. So we have schemas that tell Google what your article's about, and that's again really important if you're writing about a local business or something like that. Not so important here. We're going to make this about the government office, just because it tells Google that it's about government a little bit more. But again, we've unticked these two boxes, and the result of that is that we have nothing in the bottom of our article here. SEO tools, again, very important, and something that you kind of had in our old Newswire. So the first thing we're going to do is put keywords in here, and I have made some keywords and put them in. I thought about those ahead of time, so I put them in my little Word document, and I'll just copy and paste those in. Keywords are separated by commas. They should be related to, but not an exact match for either your title or your meta description. So I mean, in this example I've changed Republican to GOP, and I've just changed some of the things in there. So I put Obamacare instead of healthcare, and I put budget deficit as opposed to deficit. So we want to give a little diversity. We want to make sure that we are not falling into keyword stuffing kind of ideas. So that's why we do that a little bit. We have a chance to make a custom URL. So I'm going to just take my whole title, and I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it in there. We can actually do anything we want. If we just copy and paste it in there with spaces, it will convert it back to the right format, so we don't need to worry about that. This article is meant to be done in US English. If it was in some other language, including Canadian English or British English or Australian English, I would make that choice, and that would tell Google just a little bit more about my target audience and what I want to do with it. So that's the SEO Tools tab. It's got the same information in. Oh, let me talk a little bit about the scheduler. If I wanted to have this go at a particular time, I would set that time in here, and I need to kind of compute it back to GMT. So I'm writing this on, the time I'm writing it right now shows up here. So as I write this, it is October 11th at 1:29 a.m. at GMT in England. If I want it to go immediately, I'll just not goof with that setting. Say I wanted it to go a day later, I'd go to the calendar here, and I'd find the 12th. So then it would be set to publish about the same time tomorrow. And now, of course, setting that time does not account for our editing time. So if you have something that needs to go out at a particular time, I'd suggest you set that at least 24 hours in advance to make sure that we have a chance to edit it, get it back to you if we have problems, and you resubmit it again. So again, that's what the scheduler is. Alright, so the one thing that I didn't talk about a little bit here is we have basically two spots up here in category, and let me zoom in on that just a little bit. So category, we have only two choices in category. We have press release and finance news. Press release is what you're going to do 99% of the time probably. Anything with a mention of a specific company in it, certainly anything with a name, address, and phone number for a company is a press release. What we're working on here is just about the deficit thing, or the standoff thing, so we don't really have anything like that in there, so we're going to make that a news article. And we're going to just pick a secondary category here. Now, if you were an old Newswire subscriber and fan, you know that you used to have to submit twice. That's no longer the case. We just submit one time, but we have the chance to pick two different categories. So in this one, I'm going to pick just the most applicable category, and I'm going to pick economy. Close enough. Not really important. The reason that we do this is it kind of aids in syndication. So some people, some different publications will look at us and look at the articles in a specific category. If it's something that's specific to a state, they might look for a state category, tech, whatever the example might be. So this is a chance to put your article in a spot where it's more likely to be found by someone that's scraping our site for content, which is a good thing. Okay, so we have our category set. We've gone through our 3 tabs. We've done just about everything we need to do here, except there's one more thing I want to show you, and that is if you're a new author, especially if you're a new author, if you're not getting your stuff recognized in Google the way you want, first of all, you ought to be able to build your authorship credibility just by using this author information tab. If we've filled out our profile correctly, and there's another video on how to do that, if we filled out our profile correctly and linked it back to Google, Google should be able to follow that through. But if you're a newer author, or if you're having trouble getting Google to find you, I've got a little bit of code here, and let me show you what that code is and zoom in on it just a little bit. And there's some references where you'll be able to see this a little bit better. But the code is we're taking our Google Plus and we're putting it next to a rel equals author tab or tag. And again, if you don't have this, if you want it, we've got some other places, and we'll post this even with the video so you can see what that looks like. But we have to take that, and that's an HTML tag. So we'll copy that, and there's a special way to do that. So we go back and edit the article in HTML mode. Now, if you have some special things you want to do with your article, you can always go to that HTML tag and really do just about anything you want to do in there. So let's open up that HTML tab, and now we're seeing the absolute code behind this article. And if I want to throw in my little dilly there, I'll just go ahead and throw that in anywhere down here, and I'll update it, and I'll save it again. And let me show you how that looks in our previewed article. Alright, so now I've got a little preview article, and I made a mistake, it didn't show up. Well, we should have a little link down there. Oh, there we go. So it's going to be a little link that links my Google account, my Google authorship back with this article, and that's a big step in terms of getting all this stuff to show up and getting found in Google the correct way. So we'll go back here and look at our article again. The one thing that I failed to do, let me correct my mistake there, is back in this company information tab, I do have some required information, even if I don't want it to show up in the article. I need to make sure that I have the correct city and state. So since I put Dr. Walters in there, it automatically populated to Hilliard, Ohio, and I don't want to do that. I want to do this as Washington and District of Columbia. So you'll notice that those things showed up over here in our dateline. So now that I've corrected that little error, I think I'm ready to go ahead and save again and submit my article. So by submitting the article, I put it in the publication queue, and so it's not good enough to save it as draft. If you save it as draft, it's there for you to keep working on. So we want to save again. I don't know if I did that, but we need to save it, make sure we got all our little changes there, and now we'll submit. Notice that the article will be locked after we hit submit, so you can't work on it at the same time we're working on it. So we're going to go ahead and say OK on that. And that is what it's all about. So I'm looking at this from an editor's point of view. You wouldn't have this little thing here. All you would see is that your article's in pending mode. You wouldn't have the rest of that sentence there, but since it's my article, I think I've already looked at it and edited it correctly. I'll go ahead and publish it. Articles published and live. Now if you want to start building links to it or any of those things, as you go through this, every time you've previewed it, you've seen a URL. This is the custom URL that we built for it. Republican leadership, blah 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 blah. That's just the same as my title. So we've got that in there. We can make that a link and do all of our fun stuff with those kind of things. But that's about as simple as it is. As you submit your articles, you'll get an email from us saying that it has been approved or denied. Whenever we deny it, we tell you why, and we encourage you to fix it and resubmit it. So keep writing your great articles. Hope this helped a little bit, and we'll talk to you later.